giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is Mediacom News Leaders.
I'm Elizabeth Kling with Mediacom News Leaders. The Iowa Business Council is working to make our state more competitive in the business world, and here to tell us more about it is the Iowa Business Council's Executive Director, Georgia Van Gundy. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about the Business Council and its efforts for people who maybe aren't familiar with exactly what work you do.
Yeah, so the Business Council was formed back in 1985 by business leaders from around the state. It was during the middle of the farm crisis, at which time they said, you know, what can we be doing to put together policies that will continue to make economic growth within our state and our state economically vital. And so from that, that's been their mission ever since, and they put together research and data that they use to then drive those decisions that they make, and then they work through advocacy, whether it's working with decision makers within communities or legislators or the governor's office to try to get some of these initiatives passed.
So tell us about some of the data you're seeing right now, that you look at a lot of really interesting aspects of our state and the people who live here and how healthy we are and all kinds of things. So tell us about what you're seeing.
So we have a competitive dashboard, which we've been putting together since 2011. And the competitive dashboard looks at 5 different areas. So economic growth, education and workforce, health and wellness, population diversity, and then governance. And then it looks at 5 factors under each one of those. And how does the state compare with other states from a competitive perspective? So for example, under governance, the state of Iowa continues to be a best run state. So we ranked 5th as of the end of 2018. So that's positive. Under the economy section, you will see that our economy is growing. So our gross state product went up by $11 billion last year. Our median household income went up by $2,000 per family. So that's very positive. But at the other side of the scale there is we rank high as far as the number of people who are working in the state of Iowa. In fact, I think we've had the most ever now working in the state of Iowa at 1.67 million. But then you couple that with our low unemployment rate, and that's where we find a lot of the workforce issues that we have in our state, which is, if you look at all the metrics, you will see that workforce is kind of feeds in and out through all of it. The population and diversity aspect of what we look at, you know, our state continues to rank poorly in this area. We haven't grown our population a whole lot for a long time. And then from a diversity perspective, we continue to rank in the bottom 6 states, and we have for quite some time as well. Also in the governance section, our tax climate, we rank poorly, but there are some steps that are being taken to help increase that. And so what our members do is they take a look at that data, and then they put together initiatives on how they can move the needle in some of these areas, hopefully.
Yeah, so can you tell us more about some of those initiatives and where they're hoping to go? Yeah,
so as I mentioned, workforce is an issue that really bleeds through all of the different metrics that we look at. And there's the governor put together, along with co-chaired by Dan Houston, who's one of our members from Principal, the Future Ready Iowa Initiative. And that initiative is hoping that 70% of Iowans have some form of training and education past high school by the year 2025. And so it's really a statewide strategic initiative that businesses and others can plug into and figure out how to move the needle in that space. So if you look at our dashboard that we have, where we rank poorly also is maintaining our students who get a 4-year degree in the state of Iowa. So then through that, we think about, okay, so what initiatives can we do in working with education to align those students with the jobs that we have here so that we continue to retain those who are getting a 4-year degree. So we put together a Business Education Alliance, which has 2 Regent University presidents on it. We have 2 community college presidents, 2 K through 12 superintendents, a private university president, and then some of our members really sitting at the table saying, what are the strategic initiatives that we can do and put into place so that we know we hit teachers and students early and parents with the careers that are here, so that in K through 12 we really start working with those students and kind of take them down a career path, and hopefully then they stay in the jobs that we have here in Iowa.
Keep them around.
Yeah.
So if people are hearing this and saying, this is something that I want to be a part of, I have ideas, my business could be involved in this, what can they do to be a part of this effort?
Yep, so we've gone around the state presenting this data, and then we have initiatives that we're moving forward, but we're actually challenging communities to take a look at this data and think about yourself. How can you create initiatives within your community that will move the needle? So there's an opportunity for communities to come together and identify workforce shortages that they have and leverage some state dollars to help them meet the regional jobs and demand there. Communities also have an opportunity to put together initiatives to grow their population and diversify the population that they have already. So if they take a look at those metrics, then think of just local initiatives that they can put together to move the needle. Also, we're getting a lot of great feedback when we go around. So we also have Vision to Vitality meetings where we're going to different communities, presenting this data as well, and getting feedback from a community-wide conversation that we have. And so that's one way we're getting feedback. And then also on our website, we allow an opportunity for people to go on and just give us some ideas through that as well.
Yeah, so that website again, iowabusinesscouncil.org. And Georgia, we sure appreciate your time today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
We've been talking with Georgia Van Gundy, the Executive Director with the Iowa Business Council. Join us next time here on Mediacom News Leaders.